Hi YouTube, I'm Anthony.
I'm Monica.
And we're the Cooks. Okay, first of all, we want to start by thanking everybody who subscribed. We thank you more so for everybody who commented. We really appreciate it. We really appreciate the support. We say all the time, we're not experts, we're just best friends. God has blessed us to be able to have a wonderful marriage for 23 years. And because of that, He's taught us a whole lot, and with what He's taught us, we just want to give you what He's given to us, so that you can, so they can bless you, or you can bless somebody else with it. Today's topic, and I wanted to come up with something that we could come up with that's going to get a lot of comments, because we want interaction. We want you to feel like that you know us, and that you can ask us questions, and that we're going to be real with you. And so today's topic is going to be one that's hopefully going to cause some controversy. I don't know how you're going to feel about it, but hopefully it'll get some comments. And so here's what today's topic is. Today's topic is loving your spouse more than you love your kids. How many people do you think shut us off? Probably a lot of people. Okay, so now let me explain to you where this came from. And we truly believe that this came from God, because it was something that He gave us and has been instrumental in our lives, our relationship, and answering a lot of questions as far as our relationship with our kids. And so here, let me give you the history on it. What happened was, my oldest daughter, when she was really little, she came to me one day, like little girls do with their fathers, and she said, "Daddy, who do you love more, me or mommy?" And I was like, "I love your mom more." Yeah, that's what I told my little girl. This is what she did. She cried like I grabbed her by her feet and slammed her head on the ground. And then when I finally got her to stop crying, I said, "Listen, Daddy has to love you. I have to love you. You're bone of my bone, you're flesh of my flesh. Daddy has to love you." I said, "But of all the women in the whole wide world, I went to God and I told God that I wanted to be with your mom over everybody in the world." So I said, what's going to happen is one day you're going to grow up and you're going to fall in love, and you're going to love somebody more than you love Daddy. "No, Daddy. No, I'm going to always love you. I'm going to marry you, Daddy. I'm going to marry you, Daddy." Okay. I said, listen, you're going to grow up. You're going to get married. You're going to have your husband. You're going to have your kids. And you're going to love somebody else more than you love me. That's okay, because that's the way that God intends for it to be. Doesn't mean that you're going to love Daddy any less. That just means that you're going to love somebody else differently, because we wanted to train our kids to always realize that 1 + 1 = 1. That's the way God wanted it. And so what ended up happening is that we took that concept of we have to love each other more than we love our kids, and we built on that. And by building on that, what happened was that we let our kids know Mommy and Daddy have to go on a date. And we have to go on a date because Mommy and Daddy want to be together. Mommy and Daddy want to be happy. I'm going to tell you guys out there in YouTube land, I'm going to tell you out there that if you do it right, what ends up happening is that your kids are going to grow up one day, and they are going to move out of your house. And you'll get to benefit from knowing that you put everything into them that you were supposed to put into them. And now they're adults, and they're out there experiencing the world. I used to tell my kids all the time, I can't wait until you are so busy in your lives that you're like, "Oh, Dad," I call you, "Oh, Dad, I can't talk to you right now." "Oh, why not?" "Oh, my friends and I are on our way to New York because we're going to a concert or something." And I was excited about that. And it happened because one day I called my daughter. I was like, "Hey, babe, what are you doing?" And she was like, "Oh, Dad, I got to let you go. I'm in New York and me and my friends are hanging out." And I was like, wow. And I got it. She didn't get it, but I got it. And so the goal is for your kids to grow up, go out into the world and live their lives. And you reap the benefits from it, from watching them have successful marriages, which hopefully this will help you to be able to teach them how to do that. And also you get to watch your grandkids and watch their lives be hopefully better than your life was, because that's the goal of every parent.
One of the things that I always tell people is the way your kids look at the world and interact with the world and their friends always starts at home. Ministry does not start when you step into the church.
No.
Ministry starts at home. Your kids are going to learn how to love at home. They're going to learn how to work out disagreements at home.
They're going to learn how to fight at home.
They're gonna learn how to fight at home. They're gonna learn how to clean at home. Everything starts at home. So when the kids see husband and wife interacting with each other, loving each other, kissing each other, loving each other.
You said loving.
Groping each other.
Yeah, I'll grope her. I mean, she's fine.
They're learning affection.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
What ends up happening is that when you have the concept in your mind that the two become one and mommy and daddy love each other, to be honest with you, your kids will say, Mommy, do you love me? Daddy, do you love me? But honestly, your kids really don't care that much about whether or not you love them. Honestly, they don't. What your kids genuinely care about is, do they see mommy and daddy in love? If you look at a small kid in elementary school, especially kindergarten, when they draw the picture and they draw Big Daddy and they draw Mommy and then they draw themselves really little over in the corner. Because in their world, they're really not so concerned about your relationship with them. They're more concerned about what your relationship is like with each other. And I've talked to so many different couples, and I tell them, you have to love your spouse more than you love your kids. And I've had people say, oh no, there's no way. Husbands come and go, but my kids will always be there. Your kids are not going to always be there. Your kids are not going to always be there. They are eventually going to grow up and hopefully leave your house. So what ends up happening is that if you raise them with that concept, to whereas they see mommy and daddy loving each other, this is what happens with your daughters. Your daughters build a self-esteem to whereas they think, wow, if a man loves me, he's supposed to love me like I saw my daddy loving my mommy. With a boy, he's going to grow up and he's going to say, wow, I want to treat my wife the way that I saw my daddy treat my mommy.
Or I want a wife who respects me like my mom respects my dad.
And the thing about it is, and you can tell me, I mean, we talked about this because we talk all the time. And we're going to talk about communication. This is not the conversation about communication. But when we talk about this, one thing that we've always come to an agreement on is that if you show affection to your spouse, you show your spouse that you love them, the kids are going to be okay. The kids will be fine. But if your kids ever think that you love them more than you love your spouse, you're in for a world of problems. You really are. Because they'll take advantage of that. They truly will.
And not only that, it causes confusion in the marriage. It causes a separation. That is not a part of the two becoming one.
No. And there's a lot of people out there, a lot of people who actually love their kids more than they love their spouse.
I guarantee you their marriages are suffering.
I guarantee you their marriages are suffering. Because if you go with the concept of you love your spouse more than you love your kids, you love your spouse more than you love your kids, that means that you will never undermine your spouse for the sake of your kids. In other words, if the kid does something wrong, you won't go, well, I'm not going to tell your dad because I don't want you to get in trouble. Or let's keep this from your dad, or let's keep this secret, or because if you do that, what you're doing is that you're honoring the kids' wishes above your spouse's wishes. If your kids learn from the very beginning that mom and dad love each other and they are a team, they know. I'm not good. My kids know. My kids know. You can ask them. Come in, ask them. My kids know. You better not disrespect my wife because, yes, she's your mom, but she's my wife. And so you're not going to disrespect my wife. My kids also know that they treat me with a level of honor and respect because they've seen that come from their mom. This woman has given me so much love and so much respect and so much leeway that my kids see that, and because of that, they've grown up to be very, very, very mentally and emotionally healthy people. And we attribute that.
They've seen him where, He's loved me to no end. And let me tell you, my daughters always say, wow, Dad, you know what? He's setting the bar pretty high, because they see how he treats me. And the amazing part is that my son has seen how his dad treats me. And when he's not around, it's like he's around. My son treats me exactly like his dad treats me.
He opens doors. He
Yes.
pulls back chairs for his mom.
He'll even go shopping with me.
And today is, what's today?
Taylor's birthday,
What day is it?
July 30th.
See, I've never remembered her birthday. Taylor, happy birthday. I want to put that out there. But I can tell you, I mean, following on what Monica just said, with my son's goal for today is he's taking his sister out on a date. She's turning 20 today. He's 16 years old. And he's so much a respectful gentleman that he's excited about taking his sister out on what he calls a date for her birthday. But where do you think he learned that? We have a date night where we go on a date at least once a week. So he's seen Daddy taking Mommy on a date. And so because of that, he's going to grow up with a healthy relationship and a healthy respect for women and a healthy relationship for himself. My daughters won't accept just anything because they've grown up seeing that their mom won't accept just anything.
And my son knows that he's not going to have a woman who talks to him crazy, treats him like he's nothing. You know, like I said, everything starts at home.
Now, in this concept of loving your spouse more than you love your kids, it doesn't mean that you don't love your kids. It doesn't mean that you love your kids any less. It means that you love yourself. And when I say you love yourself, when 1 + 1 = 1 and they come together as one, it's not like you're loving your spouse more than you're loving your kids. What you're doing is you're loving yourself. You're loving the God that's inside of you. Because the only way that 1 + 1 can equal up to 1 is if God is in it, around it, and controlling it. And so the only way that you're going to be able to have that love for your spouse, that kind of agape love, that love that is like, wow, of all the people in the entire world, this is the person that I want to be with. No matter how they are, no matter how upset they've been, no matter what you've just gone through, no matter how much money you don't have, or how much money you do have, you'll still look at the whole wide world and you'll say, hey, you know what? I love this person more than anybody, including my kids.
Yes.
And tell me this, do you really want to be married for 20, 30, 40 years? And then your kids finally move out of your house and then you look at that person and go, who are you? I don't even know you. I don't even know you. Because in our kids' mind state, they're like, my mom and dad want us to grow up and move out of this house because they want to be able to have their time. And it filters through so many different things. It filters through discipline, filters through manipulation from the kids. You know, it filters through your private time.
And you know, especially when you have a mixed family, meaning you have children that are not yours and you marry somebody who already has kids. As far as God's concerned, those kids are yours as if they came out of your own womb. So you still have that same thing. And how much more do those kids need to know that you guys are one, that you love each other? You know, they're dealing with a whole nother set of problems.
And with those kids going through all of those different problems, the one thing that can definitely be consistent is the relationship that they see between the two of you.
Yes.
And so make sure that you at least try this out. At least try out loving your spouse more than you love your kids. Meaning, let your kids see you hugging each other. Let your kids see you kissing each other. Let your kids see you saying, hey, you know what? You go in the living room because mommy and daddy are going...
Having a picnic in their bedroom.
Having a picnic in their bedroom. Secret, I don't know if I'll get in trouble for this. I'm not going to say any hotel names. If I don't say any hotel names, ain't nobody going to get mad at me, right? Mm. Next time you go stay at a hotel, you know those signs that hang on the door that say, do not disturb? Should I not say that? Requisition.
It's actually yours.
Yeah, I was in the middle. I was in the military. You pay for the room. Requisition a couple of those do not disturb signs. And when your kids are small, tell them, when you see this on mommy and daddy's door, don't knock. Don't knock, because mommy and daddy need to spend some quality time.
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with a husband and a wife being in love with each other and enjoying each other. So, YouTube, thank you very much. Please subscribe. Please comment, because we want to know what you think. We really do want to know what you think. And we thank you so much. Tell everybody that you can about us, not because we want subscribers or not because we want any kind of notoriety. None of that. Only because God has blessed us to be able to have something awesome.
Amen.
And the product that we're producing is us. And we just want to be able to give it to as many people as possible. If this helps you, pass it on and help somebody else. Like us on Facebook. And hey, YouTube, thank you guys very much. That's it.
That's it.